Today, I will summarize one of my favorite books called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, written by Harv Eker. In the book, Eker talks about 17 main differences between the rich and the poor. Please keep in mind that when I say millionaire, I mean people who have earned their millions through legal, ethical, and moral ways. And when I say poor, I don't mean to belittle poor people. In fact, I have been financially poor most of my life. When I say poor, I mean their mentality. The computer or phone you are using has two main parts, the hardware and the software. Similarly, humans have also two main parts, their physical body and their mentality. A person's mentality is his software. If something is wrong with a part of your computer's hardware, such as the keyboard or the screen, you can easily change it. But if you have problems with the software, you cannot use your computer. It's the same with humans. If you have a poor person mentality, you cannot be rich. This book will help you upgrade your software to the rich version. If you see the video until the end, you can say that you have read this book because I have covered these 17 differences in a very simple way. First difference: the rich think big, the poor think small. Have you ever gone grocery shopping and spent several hours in various stores to be able to find the cheapest things and save 50 or 60 cents? If you have done this, you have a poor person mentality. I'm sorry to say that, but let me explain. Of course, it's not a bad thing to save money while shopping, but this changes if you think how much you'll save in comparison with the time you will spend saving it. If you spend an hour finding the cheapest oranges or tomatoes to save 60 cents, the value of your hour is 60 cents. Compared to this, rich people don't care about saving 60 cents. They understand the value of their time and think constantly on new projects or things they can do so that the value of their hour is equal to $6,000 or $60,000. Second difference: rich people choose to be paid based on results. Poor people choose to be paid based on time. I often hear people complain that they deserve more pay just because they have been with the company for more than 5 years. But in reality, things don't work that way. For example, if I spend 80 hours producing a low-quality video, will you watch it just because I've spent 80 hours doing it? Of course not! You don't care how much time I've spent doing it. You only care if the video is good for you or not. If not, you'll just stop watching it. Nobody cares how much time you spend on anything. The real question is whether you can deliver something valuable. It's about the result, not the effort or time spent. Third difference: the rich think both. The poor think one or the other. Poor people feel like there isn't enough and you can't have it all. The rich think that there is a lot for everyone and you can have everything you really want. The poor believe in shortage. The rich believe in abundance. Do you want a successful career or a close relationship with your family? How about both? Do you want to focus on business or have fun and play? How about both? Do you want a blonde or a brunette girlfriend? How about both? Okay, last thing was a kidding, but you got the point. The rich want both. The poor always choose one. The poor see the world as a pie and believe that everyone will take a piece, and the cake will be gone soon. On the other hand, rich people see the world as an open buffet. Once something runs out, the waitress will add more, and you can eat as much as you want. The poor believe they have to choose between money and other aspects of life. Do you have to choose between money and happiness? No! Of course not. Money is important and happiness is important too. You can have both. Many people have negative feelings about being rich. They think getting rich makes you evil. That's why they think they have to choose between being rich and being a nice person. So they choose to be nice and stay broke. Probably you have heard someone say, that person really changed after he got rich, or money changed this person a lot. I truly believe that money doesn't change you. Money makes you more than what you already are. If you are a kind person, money makes you a rich and kind person. If you like helping other people, money gives you the option of helping more people. On the other hand, if you're an idiot, money makes you a rich idiot. If you do bad things after you get rich, it means you were already bad. Having money just made it obvious. Fourth difference: rich people focus on the opportunities. Poor people focus on the obstacles. This one is my favorite. Every time I come up with a new idea, I share it with people to get feedback. And it is very rare to see someone who recognizes the problems associated with the idea, but at the same time focuses on the opportunities it can provide. I almost always hear tons of people telling me how my idea will fail, and that's how poor people think. They constantly see obstacles, risks, and always focus on problems, while rich people focus on opportunities. Poor people make decisions based on fear. Their minds are constantly searching for what is wrong or what could go wrong at any moment. Their main mindset is, what if it doesn't work? Or many times, it won't work. I am not saying don't deal with problems. Of course, handle problems as they arise, but don't let fear and problems stop you. If you focus on the problems, you're going to get in trouble. If you focus on the opportunities, you will have opportunities. It is a simple universal law. Fifth difference. Rich people associate with positive and successful people. Poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. In a nutshell, if you want to fly with the eagles, don't swim with the ducks. If your goal is to be rich, then study rich people. Spend time with rich and successful people and use them as role models. Do what they do. Read what they read. There's a reason why they're rich. For example, if you want to create a successful YouTube channel, look at the successful YouTube channels in your field and study what they do. Study what type of content they create, how long their videos are, what type of style they use. If you take the exact same actions and have the exact same mindset, you're likely to get very similar results. When I give this advice, people usually get really angry with me and says, so you want me to just copy other people? Do you want me not to be original? Do you want me to just steal other people's work? And no, I'm not saying anything like that. For some reason, these days people want to be Mark Zuckerberg and invent the next Facebook. If you're a regular guy like me, then you have a better chance to success by modeling successful people. And that doesn't mean you're not original. For example, if you decide to create the summary of the same book that I'm summarizing now, using the exact same format animation that I'm using now, using the exact same background music, your content will still be unique because you have a unique voice. You have a unique way of explaining things. Even if you do the same thing, your content will still be different from mine. By the way, you probably noticed that there are already many channels doing exactly the same thing as me, but despite that, this channel is growing. Please do not get me wrong. I'm not trying to brag about myself or say, look guys, how great my channel is. The reason I'm talking about me is because you and I can easily relate. If I give you an example of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, you will probably find it difficult to relate to his story. But you and I are two simple guys trying to improve. Another complaint I hear a lot is that I don't have rich people around me. So how can I surround myself with rich and successful people? Look, you don't need to have them near. You can find successful people and read their books or watch their videos. You can't ask Arnold Schwarzenegger to go out with you so you can study him and get in shape. But guess what? He has tons of videos and has written a book. So why not read his book or watch his videos? I personally don't have any rich friends around. The authors of these types of books are rich friends to me. I meet them by reading their books, watching their videos, and listening to their podcasts. Sixth difference. Rich people know what they want and are committed to get it, but the poor just want to be rich. Imagine that you and your friend are walking around downtown and you want to eat a baguette. Your friend comes up with a booth and says, hello, I want to buy a baguette. Please give me a baguette. The seller behind the stand will most likely get confused and ask you what kind of baguette your friend wants, because there are many types of baguettes. This is the exact same approach that poor people use when it comes to getting rich. They just want to be rich, but they don't know what a rich life is like for them. If you don't know exactly what you want, then the girl selling the baguette will give you whatever baguette she chooses and you leave. Now, imagine you walk up and say, hello, I want a tuna baguette with smoked cheese, but I don't want this type of bread. Give me that dark bread with sunflower seeds. Don't add onion, cucumber, tomato, and make it toasted, please. Guess what? The girl will give you exactly what you ask for. Likewise, the rich don't send mixed messages. Only the poor do. The number one reason why most people don't get what they want is because they don't know what they want. You must know what that rich life looks like for you, and you must have a plan to get there. For example, for me, the rich life means having the freedom to work whenever I want, wherever I want. I want to be able to buy whichever car I like like. I don't like public transportation and feeling sweaty, especially if I go to an important meeting. When I go to a restaurant, I want to be able to open the menu and choose whatever I want without first looking at the price column. I want to be able to take my parents on nice vacations twice a year. I want to be able to help people around me when they are having financial difficulties. I want to be able to get up at 11 in the morning on Tuesday and go for a walk in the park and just breathe. I want to be able to go to the gym in the middle of the day and come back whenever I want. That's my rich life, and I have a plan on how to get there. Difference number 7. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and its value. Poor people think negatively about selling and promotion. Let me explain it this way. If you had a cure for some type of disease, would you hide it from a person who was suffering from it? I don't believe it. In the same way, if you believe that what you have to offer can really help people, it is your duty to promote it. It is your obligation to promote it. By not promoting it, you're not really serving people. Maybe the product you're selling is the product that can change my life. But if you're not promoting it, I'm missing the opportunity to change my life. Resentful promotion is one of the biggest obstacles to success. People who have problems with selling and promoting are usually in bankrupt. How can you generate a lot of income in your business if you're not willing to let people know that your product or services exist? Regardless of your job, you must be good at sales and promotion. Almost every aspect of our lives involves sales. For example, when you try to convince your partner to go to a restaurant instead of shopping, you are selling. When you try to convince your daughter to study, you are selling. In fact, I'm selling right now. I'm selling you my video and you are paying for it with your time. You are paying for it with minutes of your life. And I'm not ashamed to sell you my video. I'm not ashamed to promote it and ask you to hit the like button and subscribe, because I know that the ideas in these types of books can really help you to change your mentality. Difference number 8. The rich believe I create my life. The poor believe life happens to me. If you want to create wealth, it is important that you believe that you are the one behind the wheel. The poor travel through life as passengers. On the other hand, the rich always get behind the wheel. Have you ever noticed that it is usually poor people who spend a lot of money playing the lottery? In reality, they have high hopes that someone will simply try to pick their name out of a hat and provide them with a lot of money and eventually make them rich. Ecker says poor people also justify their situation. They say things like, money is not important, happiness and love are important. This type of comparison is not correct. Let me ask you a question. Is your leg or your arm important? You're probably saying, what a stupid question is this? Of course, they are both important. You're right, both are important in the same way that money and happiness are important. Money and love are important. Food and water are important. The poor also blame others. It's never their fault. It's always someone else's fault. They act always like victims. I have two cousins who grew up in the same town. They went to the same school also, had the same teachers, and both had poor parents. Today, one of them is very successful and the other is not. But the most interesting part is that they both use the same reasons for their current situation. The poor cousin blames the bad education system, his poor parents, the government, and the system for his failure. On the other hand, the rich cousin used the same reasons to be successful. He says, I knew the school system was bad and my parents were poor, and that's why I started to educate myself and learn new things. He doesn't blame anyone or anything. Another reason poor people are poor is because they complain. When people complain, they focus on what is wrong in their lives. What you are focused on will expand so that you will continue to receive more of bad things. Difference number 9. Rich people manage their money well, but poor people manage their money poorly. Money is just a tool, like your computer or phone, that requires you to learn how to use it. We spend many hours learning how to use the computer, but when it comes to money, people ignore this simple fact and don't want to pick up a book and learn how the money works and how to manage it. To me, this is crazy because money is something we sell our lives for, working 9 to 5 every week. But when it comes to learning how to manage it, many people fail. With the amount of poor people complaining about their financial situation, you might think it would make sense to learn the basics of money, but that's almost never the case. The rich are not smarter than the poor. They just have different, more supportive money habits. To master money, you you must manage money. Saying, I will start managing my money as soon as I have money is like an overweight person saying, I will start exercising and dieting as soon as I lose 50 pounds. First, start having more money to manage. If your child can't even keep up of his bicycle, would you buy him a car? Of course not. The same logic applies to the universe and to you. The universe says, until you prove you can handle what you have, you won't get more. The author even says, if you borrow money to live, you still need to learn to manage that money. The most important thing is to exercise your money management muscles so that it becomes a habit. Developing the habit first is very important. For example, if your goal is to go to the gym every morning so that you can do squats with 100 kilos, you must first learn how to lift a 1 kilo blanket before lifting 100 kilos of heavy weight. If you don't have the habit of lifting the blanket and getting out of bed, then there's no way to achieve your goal. To manage your money well, the author recommends create 5 accounts: investing account, gaming account, education account, donation account, and expense account. You must deposit 10% of your after-tax income into your investment account. It is the account that will create the goose that lays the golden eggs. Ecker also recommends putting an equal amount, 10%, into your gaming account. The money in the gaming account should be spent at the end of the month on fun activities. You should spend this money in a way that helps you feel rich and happy. If you always keep saving money, eventually the fun-seeking part of you will sabotage your other accounts. Difference number 10. The rich are bigger than their problems. The poor are smaller than their problems. The secret to success is not trying to avoid or get rid of your problems. The secret is to grow to be bigger than them. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, you are going to face problems. The size of the problem is never the problem. What matters is the size of you. The bigger the problems you can handle, the bigger the business you can handle. The more responsibility you can handle, the more employees you can handle, and the more money you can handle. The things we call problems are actually situations. We make them a problem. Respectively, some people make them a problem and some people are not even affected. How can the same situation be a problem for one but not for the other? It depends on the person. It depends on you. You can get fired and cry all day and complain, or you can use your free time to create your own business. Difference number 11. Rich people are excellent receivers. Poor people are poor receivers. A poor receiver is a person who cannot receive well. And what do we receive? We receive praise, compliments, money, gifts, and many other things. Many of us have trouble receiving such things. The author says that we are conditioned that way. We grew up and listen things like, that's wrong, you're not doing it right, what did you do? All those sentences strengthen the feeling of not being good enough, and not feeling good enough is one of the reasons we are poor receivers. So from now on, take everything anyone gives you. If someone tells you that you look good, say thank you instead of, what? No, I look horrible today. It's that simple. Just say thank you and receive your compliment. Ecker says, it's funny, when I was broke and I saw a penny on the ground, I never stooped that low to pick up a penny. But now that I'm rich, however, I collect anything that even looks like money. Then I give it a good luck kiss and declare out loud, I am a money magnet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Difference number 12. The rich play the money game to win. The poor play the money game not to lose. In sports, teams that play strictly in defense and no offense have a hard time winning. Unfortunately, most people play the defense money game, where their main concern is survival in place of wealth and abundance. The poor want to have enough money to pay the bills. Intention is a very important thing, and when your intention is to have enough money just to pay the bills, guess what? That's exactly how much you'll get, nothing more. You have to aim high. You must shoot the stars so that you can at least hit the moon. The author says that if your goal is to feel comfortable, you will probably never get rich. But if your goal is to be rich, you will end up very comfortable. Difference number 13. The rich have their money working hard for them. The poor work hard for their money. Ecker says, I agree that you have to work for your money, but for the rich, this situation is only momentary. For poor people, it is endless. The rich believe that in order for their money to work hard and take its place, first you must work hard. They also know that the harder your money works, the less work you will have to do. The first goal should be to become financially free and do it as soon as possible. Eckhart defines financial freedom in a simple way. Financial freedom is the ability to live the lifestyle you want without having to work or depend on someone else for money. And how is that possible? You need passive income. In short, you become financially free when your passive income exceeds your expenses. Many people cannot differentiate between being rich and financially free. They think you must first be rich to be financially free, but it's not true. Financial freedom comes first because it is the easier and faster to do. Let me ask you a question. Is it easier to climb a staircase that has only 10 steps or a staircase that has 1,000 steps? Of course, the 10-step ladder is easier, right? Using this analogy, we can say that becoming financially free is like climbing the 10-step ladder, and getting rich is like climbing the 1,000-step ladder. First, try the easiest goal and become financially free. Once you have the passive income and you don't have to work for anyone, you can use this free time to get rich. Eckhart says in his seminar that one of his students realized that if she simply rented her apartment and moved somewhere cheaper, her passive income would become enough to cover all her expenses, plus she could even save money. And that's exactly what she did. She rented her apartment, moved somewhere cheaper and more exotic, and became financially free. Only then, she started to build her business and get rich. So, first focus on the 10-step ladder and creating enough passive income so you don't have to work for someone. Once this is done, then you can think about the rest. There are two main sources of passive income. The first is money working for you. This includes investment gains from financial instruments such as stocks, bonds, or other assets that can appreciate in value. The second main source of passive income is the business working for you. This involves generating ongoing income from businesses that you don't need to be personally involved in for the business to operate and provide you with income. The simplest example of this may be the real estate sector. Difference number 14. Rich people focus on their net worth. Poor people focus on their labor income. When it comes to money, the common question people ask is, how much do you earn? The question, what is your net worth, is rarely heard. A small number of people speak this way. Their real wealth is measured by net worth and not by labor income. It has always been like this and always will be. To find out your net worth, all you have to do is add up the value of everything you own, along with your cash and investment like stocks, bonds, real estate, and the present value of your business if you have one. Likewise, the value of your residence if it's yours, and then subtract everything you owe. Net worth is considered the ultimate measure of wealth because, if necessary, what you own can be converted into cash. After calculating your net worth, draw a vertical line in a page. Place 0 at the bottom of the line, and at the top of the line, write your desired net worth. Let's say, for example, $1 million. Once you've done that, put your current net worth on this line and see how far are you from your desired amount. Periodically, say every month or every quarter, check this line and update it accordingly, even if you're at 0 or less. I would still recommend doing this exercise because what you track, you improve. Difference number 15. The rich act despite fear. The poor let fear stop them. In the book, Eckhart talks about the manifestation formula. According to this formula, thoughts produce feelings. Feelings lead to actions, and actions lead to results. For example, if you think about a donut, then you create a feeling of wanting a donut, and then you stand up and go and buy a donut. If this process is repeated, you will constantly gain weight. Thoughts and feelings are part of your internal world. Being overweight is part of your external world. Action is the bridge between the inner world and the outer world. If there is no action, then your thoughts and your feelings about being rich are useless. Many people read these types of books to become rich, but most of them don't take action and apply what they learned. It's not about how many books you read, it's about how many books you apply in real life. Reading but not taking action is like looking at a photo of the girl you like in Facebook all day instead of going to talk to her face to face. If action is such an essential role in achieving success, what prevents us from taking these actions? Fear. Fear doubt, and worry are the most common barriers, not only to success but also to happiness. One of the biggest differences between the rich and the poor is that the rich are still willing to act, even if they feel afraid, even if they feel uncomfortable. The poor, on the other hand, allow fear to stop them. They don't want to feel uncomfortable. If you're willing to do what is comfortable, life will be uncomfortable. But if you are willing to do what is uncomfortable, your life will be quite comfortable. Fear and discomfort shouldn't stop you. Fear is a product of the mind. Your mind is a fear detector, not a success detector. The moment you start doing something uncomfortable, your mind will show you dozens of horrible cases to stop you. Our mind is the best horror script writer. Training and managing your own mind is the most important skill you can have. If you want to learn to control your mind, I would recommend starting to meditate. The rich constantly learn and grow. The poor think that they already know everything. Eckhart says that the three most dangerous words are "I know that." The question is, how do you know something? Here is the answer. If you live it, you know it. Otherwise, you heard it, you read it, or you talk about it, but you don't know it. Frankly, if you're not rich and happy, there are many chances that you can still learn a lot about money, success, and life. Consider this. If you're not as successful as you would like to be, there's something you don't know yet. If you're not rich, it means there are many things you need to learn and apply. If you keep doing what you always have done, in fact, you will continue to get what you have always gotten. Difference number 17. Rich people admire other rich and successful people. Poor people resent rich and successful people. When I was in the high school, there was a very rich man in the town, and every time I saw him passing by our neighborhood with his new Mercedes, I could hear many negative stories about his luxurious life. Every time I asked if they knew what he did, no one could give me a precise answer, but almost everyone assumed that he was doing criminal work and that he was evil. Several years later, I had the opportunity to speak with this person when I was doing my internship and learned that most of his childhood had been spent in poverty, which motivated him to work harder and eventually become CEO. After meeting this person and hearing his life story, I realized that poor people often look at other people's success with resentment, jealousy, and envy. This was the last difference. Please put your favorite idea or lesson from this video in the comments. If this video helped you a little, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps the channel a lot and motivates me to summarize more books. And remember, with education and reading, life is always so much better.